Hey guys, it's Lost Poet here. Showing a video for a 1-2. Haven't made a video in a while, but either way, once you get into TT, you go into the first portal, talk to the first pillar. You come in here, you want to select squad mode. Squad mode makes better drops. As long as you're in with, decent 4.0, 5.0 apps, about 7,000 life, and mostly fully buffed, you should be alright. You want to select Dimensik. Yep. If you're soloing, it's pretty straightforward. If you're Sin, if you're 100 plus, you got 4 or 5 apps, about 7,000 HP or plus. If you're buffed and it's higher, it's just better. If your refinement's like plus 10, that's also really good. You want to select high, that way you get all the bosses. And here, monsters, there's only a mid-amount option, so you just want to go ahead and do that. Make sure you have 4 openers. One of my buddies opened up for me, so that way, I have 4 openers here. Just thank him. And we're off. So in here, there's actually no mob count. So if you show high requests, I don't really have any questions here or requests here for this. So pretty much I can just go ahead, pop into stealth, and these monsters are only level 70. So if you're level 70 Sin, you probably are able to run past these in stealth with no problem. And if you get cleric buffs, the increased MP recovery, that'll pretty much allow you to stealth without losing any MP at all. Or mana, so that's pretty straightforward. So just go ahead and run through. It's kind of like 1-1. You want to run down to the first boss. First boss is going to be Chintan. He's going to drop an item called the Chin Armor Shard. So this guy here, Soul of Hoshfang. Not sure exactly how to say that. You can stop and kill him. I'll probably just kill him on the way back. Just going to wait for these hands to pop here and make it fast. I'm going to use a Charger Orb. 1-2 is really straightforward. The bosses go down pretty quick. You really don't need a squad as long as you're 4 or 5.0 apps. And if you aren't, a Sin or a BM, then you probably want to do this with the squad. It just makes life a little bit easier. If you have a cleric, healing's easy. I'm going to Rip Strike because I'm Sage now. So with Sage Rip Strike, it reduces his maximum hit points. You also want to do that first because what that allows you to do is do like a ton of initial damage. Pretty much reducing their maximum hit points just takes away that much life that they had. So if you watch it, recover, which I can show on the next boss, you'll see that his life is significantly reduced. So here you go. He drops these items called Chin Armor Shard. It's a TT70 gear, and he drops Mysterious Skulls, which are the generic TT70 item, which you need to make your TT70 armor. So 1-2 is important if you're building up armor from scratch. You got to come in here if you're building up, what do you call, belts, necklaces, ornaments. You also want to come in here because all ornaments, including the TT99 ones, start from a level 70 ornament, and then they work their way up. Armor, if you're making TT99 armor, that just goes straight from TT90 to 99, so you don't have to bother to do this. But this is good for either practicing TTs or whatever, or getting your materials for the necklace and belts that you would use generally in your armor for an app set, or if you're farming to sell or whatever. Otherwise, the materials in here sell decently. The Chin Armor Shard is okay. The Framework of Drum is a little bit more valuable just because the drummer generally is a bit harder. So if you could just go down this way, leave the drummers down this way. You guys might recall, if you guys watched the TT101 video, I just take a left and there's no boss actually this way. That actually drops real mats, so I kind of didn't go down this way. But if you were to take a left at the ramp, which I'll go back to go to the rest of the bosses, that's where the drummer used to be, or what is in 1-1. So you just come down this long ramp. It's a lot more walking and just dodging hands. It's really kind of tedious, especially if you're a Sin with decent gear. It's a very fast run. I'm just going to wait here for the hands. Trying to think here. There's nothing too difficult about this. I mean, I am, pretty heavily geared, pretty much close to endgame. I can switch to R9 if I wanted to, but apps is essentially still the way to go because they did not give the TT bosses a debuff that prevents apps from doing crappy damage. So as you can see, I did Rip Strike, maximum HP decreased. I'm just going to tank this, pop a crab meat, let this recover. So as you can see here, his life points went down by about 700,000, 800,000. So as you can see, that's what it does. So very crucial if you are Sage. That's very beneficial to always hit that first. If you do damage and then you do that, it won't actually reduce more. Like if I were to hit it now, it won't make a difference because his life is already lower than what it would be after I reduced it. So you always want to hit that first. Alright, so I just picked up everything right here. If you hotkey your pickup, you can just pick up automatically just by holding down the hotkey, which I do because the TT bosses tend to drop on top of the mat, so you can never see them, especially if you're soloing. Just makes it easy. If you have a banker, make sure it's set on free, and the banker just banks it. I'm just gonna wait for the hands here. Pop back into stealth. Get some chi quickly. I probably should have just done this, but it's okay. No worries. And you can see there's a little residual like spinning, like a golden thing spinning around. That just, you can tell that the hands just recently popped. So that just is like it's kind of like a green light just to keep going ahead. Only rarely I'll stop in these hands as long as I haven't seen them from far away. Also in the instance, because it's just an instance, you're probably gonna have very minimal lag, so you can turn up your distances maximum. That way you can see the hands from far away and see when and if they clap. So this is the way you go down normally to kill the drummer on 1-1, but he's no longer here, so I'm going to go down this way, and there's going to be 3 more bosses in here that you kill. So I'm going to continuously spam Wolf Emblem just because it's an easy chi thing, and my chi bar is not completely full. Like the other guy, the Henshin, I forget his name, but this is just like a tiny mini boss. It takes like 2-3 hits, 50,000 HP, really straightforward, really easy. Pop right back into stealth and carry on my merry way. Pop a charger here just because I know the path here. There's actually no hands up to the next boss. So if you just go down this path and up this ramp, there will be the Soul Banisher. This is the guy you see in 1-1. If you went down the ramp, I went down this run to kill the drummer this run. He's standing in 1-1 as well, but he drops nothing except for skeleton bones or whatever the generic TT70 mat is. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump to this guy. I'll try to do as fast as possible. Rip Strike as usual, Spark, and just kind of apps him down. I can extreme poison him, but I'm going to keep my Genie just for Holy Path. That way it just makes running faster and this instance go a lot smoother and faster. And plus, since I have plus 12 rank 9 third cast daggers, it's really not a factor for me to kill this guy. I am 2.86 apps, so it's pretty easy, quick. So this guy drops an item called Soul Gatherer's Tentacle. You guys have to look up, the details of what each mat is used for and what mats you really need. But I mean, there's no reason to, start an instance, pick up a mat you get that you need, and then not finish it. I mean, this instance is really, really quick. If you're not a Sin, then yeah, I guess you don't want to bother killing those monsters and stealthing, especially if you're killing just the first or second boss for their mats. Because then you can just continuously spam. It is annoying to get squad openers consistently, unless you have the alts, or if you and your friend are running it, in which case it's not that big of a deal. But aside from that, you really want to just do the full instance. Whether you use the mat or not, you can bank it. You can give it to a friend later who might need it. You can sell it. I always have a catch up every time I go to bed. Selling all the mats that I don't need, and every now and then something will sell because somebody will need it, and it's extra change in your pocket, so why not? There are these balls in this run which you don't see in 1-1. It's essentially like hands but in motion. They will speed up and slow down sometimes. They kind of run in a circular path. They will go up, down, and then sometimes they'll cross diagonal, so you really have to be careful and watch them. Kind of want to almost run behind them, but you never know which way they're going to run. Like, see there, they just kind of rotated. You really want to use your run skills here, so make sure you save them for the balls. I just had a charge orb and cooldown. So I'm just going to run around here. There's a boss down here, which I'll kill after Dementora. But there's a snake guy who, if you go down, he's 2 rooms down. So you just keep running. If you look at your mini-map up here, there's a square box. He's actually in this one. So there he is. I'm going to use my run skill. So the trick here is to pull him out. A bunch of hands pop up in here, so you don't actually want to kill him in there. So you hit him with any kind of ranged attack you got. You can use your Genie if you want to. I just did a quick knife throw. Go ahead and come up here, hit him. Spark. And take him out. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. This guy drops an item called Ancient Serpent Skin, which I do know is a pretty useful mat for some things. Not sure exactly what. Like I said, you guys are gonna have to look that up on your own. But as you can see here, the hands have popped up over here. So if you were fighting that room, you would either have to spark perfectly, use an Iron Guard, AD, or something. It's just much easier just to pull them out of the room. It's just the trick that's somebody learned and passed on for a long time in this game. So then I'm just gonna jump down here. So these blue boxes you can't actually run through. They're just kind of like walls. So if you wanted to fight him in here, you can't. So you have to pull him so he's not in one of those things. Otherwise, you're not going to get his drops. So I'm going to pop this. Use my anti-stun run. It doesn't really matter. I'm only doing that so that way I have this in cooldown if I needed to. Sometimes he'll run and he'll be stuck in one of those boxes. So you kind of have to run around. Pretty much so he gets unstuck. So just kind of run along the edge until, he finds a happy medium. I'm going to pop Inner Harmony and Power Dash and Extreme Poison. This guy does have significant more life than the other ones, and therefore I use the Power Dash, the Inner Harmony, probably hitting at a 100% crit rate. Yeah. If your Sage gives you 50%, and if you have a high enough dex, you're going to be hitting for essentially 100%. Where every hit is a crit, and then you have about 25% chance to do a sack assault if you have rank 9 daggers, and if you don't, close enough. So I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but I believe that's just a glitch. Occasionally that might happen, but he also spawns these giant golems that kind of walk around in a circle, and they do hit hard. So that's why you want to pull them all the way off and not fight them up there, because then you'll get aggro from those. Unfortunately, it's not 2x. So I'm getting pretty crappy drops. Only got one of these. I got 3 skins. So if you were running to do this, typically you would want about 5. So, if I wanted these mats, I would probably, continuously run 1-2s. But there you go, 1-2, really straightforward, really easy, really quick. Depends on your gear. If you're not, as well geared as I am, you're probably going to have to do a couple sparks in each boss, maybe 3 sparks on this guy. Always make sure to have full buffs. It's just more beneficial to have all your buffs whenever you're running any kind of instance, especially if you're soloing it. And if you're not, try to get people in your squad that have, a reasonable amount of standard buffs, Cleric, Barb, BM, Sen, whatever you need. Hopefully this was helpful, and enjoy.